Maldives. How about the dolphin? That makes me look adventurous. Kind of like that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Hey everyone, ready to get started. Sorry, it's a little crazy with the kid and the dog.
No, I'm just so sorry. I can't get my video to work today. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, what you got there? Oh, you have a... Oh, okay.
Who's a good Mona? Who's a good girl?
All right, well, guess we'll just get started here.
Yeah, are you a good girl? I know. Oh no, is this thing on?
Welcome to Bankruptcy
Week.
That was so bad.
That was the worst ever. That was so bad.
Hey everyone, we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Hope you like that little video that we put together for you. While we're waiting on everyone to join, I just want to have you guys take a few minutes and get familiar with the chat, the questions, and the polling functions. And our community managers for this session are Jamie Husami and Jess Souza. And they're going to be posting some relevant links, information, and anything that you'll need in the chat. Please feel free to use the chat. Communicate with all of your attendees and everyone else that you see. Inform us of any technical issues. And if you have any questions, make sure to please send them through the questions tab. All of our community moderators will be keeping an eye on those and answering questions if we can. Upvote questions, and they will likely be able to get answered first. So lastly, if any speaker has any polls for you during any of our sessions this week, you'll find those in the polls tab. So before we get started, please take a look at the code of conduct. We want to ensure that we're following our community guidelines. We strive to make this online gathering a safe and inclusive space. So just if you want to read the full statement, please see the link posted by our moderators in the chat. And if you experience any issues at all today about anything here, just send us an email to reporting@nextchapterbk.com. Okay, we are going to just wait a few more minutes, make sure everyone is in, and we'll get started. Just about 30 more seconds here. Okay, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for Bankruptcy Week. Those of you who don't know me, I'm going to maximize my screen here so you can see me. Okay, I'm Janine Sickmeyer. I'm the founder and managing director of NextChapter, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here with us kicking off Bankruptcy Week. And before I dive into all the amazing things that we have planned for this week, including educational sessions and smart discussions about law and technology and what's going on in the bankruptcy world today, I just want to give you a little background about me and the company as a whole and why we decided to do this. So back in 2008, I was a paralegal. I was working in mortgages and foreclosures, and it was a hot time to be in this market. I found myself sitting in a courthouse every Friday buying houses in sheriff's sales on behalf of the bank. And I had these outrageous bidding instructions, sometimes bid on like 30 to 40 houses in a single day, while families sat across the other side of the room, just devastated. And it wasn't long before I realized where I really belonged. And that was on the other side of the room, helping them. So by the end of that year, I joined a law firm in Columbus, Ohio, and I became the lead paralegal in the bankruptcy department, helping them open offices across the country and leading their efforts to go paperless by using technology. So I was reviewing every software that was out there. I was creating workflows with Salesforce and Basecamp and Excel and Outlook and really any technology I could get my hands on. But by the time that the firm, they didn't only just teach me about bankruptcy and technology, I really learned about the people there too. Thousands of potential debtors came through, and they were coming through the office, and I saw firsthand how heavy the burden of debt weighed on the shoulders of these young families and seniors and people that just fell on hard times. So I was working with these clients along with the attorney to help them get out from under difficult situations and rid them of the stress and the anxiety caused by unpaid bills and loans and past mistakes. So we gave people more than a fresh slate, but an opportunity to live a happier life. So on weekends and evenings, I started working as a virtual paralegal. I was preparing documents and communicating with debtors remotely for attorneys all across the country. So this was in 2009, and I was a little ahead of my time here because I believed in it so much that I quit my job as a paralegal and I started my first company, the Paralegal Team. And this was my first website design in WordPress that I designed. And while we were operating as a virtual paralegal, I was working with attorneys in the bankruptcy software market, or with every kind of bankruptcy software that was on the market. And attorneys provided me with their VPNs. They left their computers on at night in the office so that I could use it. And there were outdated systems to prepare the cases. Frankly, it was a mess. And so I literally made notes on napkins about the ideal bankruptcy software. And that's when the idea of NextChapter was born. So in 2013, I sketched out mock-ups of what I wanted to see in an online bankruptcy software. And if you look closely, it's actually the first name before NextChapter was Petition Track. And so that's what's on these mock-ups way back in 2013. I sketched them out, and we had over 150 different pages. And I met with an attorney, and then I incorporated my new company, NextChapter. So using my experience as a paralegal who worked in the trenches for several years, I taught myself how to code. I teamed up with a couple different skill developers. I tried to raise capital and failed, but I kept going. I got out loans. I spent my savings, hired more people, and after 2.5 years of development, we launched the first cloud-based bankruptcy software. And since then, since that first customer in 2016, our product has grown into a full service bankruptcy solution for really any size firm. And our client communication features, case management tools, we have everything you need to be able to prepare bankruptcies faster and easier than ever. And all while staying true to our mission, which was helping people get to the next chapter of their lives. And I wanted to incorporate this slide because I think it's so cool. At our first team retreat, we all got together and wanted to define our purpose. And that's where we came up with this mission after looking at a variety of different things that we wanted to do, with this company. So all of our features came straight from our user requests. So if you take a look at this picture, this is one of the annual product meetings that we had 3 years ago. And every sticky note on that wall represents a feature request from one of our customers. And at the time, the wall of Post-its looked so overwhelming. We categorized them by order of importance and number of requests. And then we use that to determine what would be like a quick win or a time sink if we thought that it would take too much time and not make as many users happy. So then from there, we put all of that on a big product roadmap, and we made sure to be laser focused on our sole mission, which was keeping us in a line to success. So we completed, since then, every single note, every task that's on that board, and even more. And then by the end of 2019, we had over 6,000 users, 5 employees, and were acquired by Fastcase. So fast forward to 2 months ago. We're looking at now the news of coronavirus pandemic, and none of us really understood what this meant for our country or the economy. And many of us thought that this would all blow over in a couple months. But then shelter-in-place orders started in effect, and businesses started closing, and people started being laid off. And, we take a look at these numbers. 3 million people are not paying their mortgage. 1 in 4 small businesses have shut down. And since this slide, there's even more, but I think there's over 30 million people who've filed for unemployment now. The economy is just not going to be the same when we get through this, and we've entered into an economic crisis, and we're likely to see a tsunami of bankruptcy filings coming in the next months, 2 years. So if you look at the data, though, bankruptcy filings hit an all-time high during the last recession, growing over 74%, and didn't start to drop off until years later. So what does all this mean for the legal industry? The needs of Americans are changing, which means that lawyers have to constantly be reevaluating their services, their offerings, to make sure that they can accommodate their clients better. And in the coming months, we're going to see a demand for bankruptcy lawyers increasing, since so many people are going to have debt relief, that are going to need debt relief caused by the pandemic. So now more than ever, individuals and businesses need financial relief. Businesses have been forced to close and shut their doors. Employees have been losing their sole source of income, and many parties are going to turn to bankruptcy as a fresh start. And that's where attorneys come in. I feel like, it might feel like we're at a standstill right now, and even though we expect to be overwhelmed with new filings soon, it's kind of the calm before the storm, because we have seen that last month was actually the lowest it's been in several years for filings. But it's likely due to the evictions and foreclosures, the forbearances that are in effect in most states right now. So once those are terminated, the debtors are going to resume payments, and that's when filings are going to accelerate. So you can use this time to expand your law firm offerings, include bankruptcy law if you're not already. And if you're already a bankruptcy practitioner, consider picking up, maybe a new chapter or a case type. And that's what Bankruptcy Week was here to do. This is why we created it. As attorneys and paralegals, you can play a pivotal role in the 2020 economic recession by practicing bankruptcy law. So the uptick in filings is approaching, and we need to stay ahead of the curve. So NextChapter is hosting this Bankruptcy Week. We're trying to make it fun, and that's why we have that little video. Our whole team here has been working remotely, and we're all here to help you guys learn and understand everything from business cases and Chapter 13s, and even if you haven't practiced bankruptcy before, we're hoping that this can help you. We have so many great sessions coming up, and they're all led by experienced bankruptcy attorneys, legal technologists, industry experts. And on the schedule, we have a number of webinars that are going to give you a better understanding of not just bankruptcy law, but how to run an efficient and effective practice using marketing strategies and bankruptcy tech tools, and the business side of bankruptcy. So at the end of the 5-day event, you're going to have a better understanding of how to prepare bankruptcies, how to work with your clients, and hopefully, how to be able to create a very efficient law firm, all from the comfort of your own home, just like me in 2016, coding with a newborn to build NextChapter. So let's take a look at all the sessions and speakers that we have outlined for this week. So Bankruptcy Week is a total of 5 days, and each day there are 3 to 4 sessions that you can attend. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a wide variety of speakers and topics, so you'll get introduced to everything you need to know and attend. You can attend any session. You can kind of pick and choose the ones that are relevant to you. Just think about this like a week-long conference event. So if you were going to an in-person week-long conference, you can hop into a couple sessions whenever it makes sense. Come in and chat with some other attendees, and see if you can build relationships and network with other people. We're going to be inviting some questions and other people to the stage in some of the sessions, and we have some different panels of different thought leaders who can help provide insight on other sessions. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Today, I want to start with the other 2 presentations that we have still for today, and these are going to be 2 really good ones. We have a lot of attendees right now already registered, and I'm so excited. So the first one is Bankruptcy Basics with Ron Drescher. Ron is bringing us back to the basics. He's going to do a 1-hour session that covers everything you need to know about bankruptcy, as much as he can get through in 1 hour. But he's bringing with him 30 years of experience in filing bankruptcies, and Ron is going to be providing an introductory course for new bankruptcy attorneys. Attend this session, and you're going to be able to get up to speed really quickly with a lot of the basics. And I think that even if you are practicing, currently, you'll still find a lot of value in what Ron Drescher has to say. He's super passionate. He's a great guy. He's teaching right now other courses for bankruptcy, and he's going to be able to help you and give you a great idea of where to start if you've never been there, and how to do this all remotely if you have. So take a look at Ron's session. It's going to be coming up next. And then this afternoon, it's going to be a fireside chat with Ed Walters, the CEO of Fastcase, and he's going to be talking about discussion with Mandy Ballinger, who is the director of operations here at NextChapter. They'll be discussing how to transition into bankruptcy law. So this will include how to identify if your client needs debt reorganization, how to price your bankruptcy services, and more. Ed Walters has just a broad range of experience and in the legal space, and now especially in the bankruptcy space, working so closely with NextChapter. So I'm really excited to see this conversation. It's more of a fireside chat, so you'll see both of them talking between each other, and it'll be a lot more conversational. So be sure to attend that session too. And then let's move over to Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're going to take a deep dive into some of the bankruptcy specifics. And Athena's going to be practicing, or Athena's a bankruptcy attorney here in Columbus, Ohio as well. And she mainly specializes in Chapter 13 bankruptcies. So, right now it's going to be the wealthy who also need financial relief. And, if you're currently only doing Chapter 7, I think that this is a great time to learn more about Chapter 13 so that you can be well-versed and make sure that you can accommodate any type of bankruptcy that clients need right now. After that, we're going to be, I'm going to be moderating a panel here with 3 other women in the legal tech space. And many of the greatest strides in legal industry have been made by women. Take a seat and listen to all these influential minds. And during the panel, you'll hear from experts Jess Birkin, Kat Moon, and Ivy Gray on hot topics in the space, and I'll be moderating. So that'll be a fun chat. I know we have a lot to cover. So join that session on Tuesday afternoon. 2 commonly overlooked but extremely important components of law firms are social media and culture. partner Jordan Couch here is from Palace Law, and he's here to tell you that two of the things that make a difference for attracting top talent and getting more clients are social media and law firm culture. Plus, it's going to be a lot of fun. I personally know Jordan. I've met him a few times at different conferences, and he is just full of energy. And I think, you know, if you're looking to find a way to retain and attract top talent for your law firm, this is a great place to start. On Wednesday, you're going to be starting with business bankruptcies with Tara Salinas. So now more than ever, businesses large and small are going to be seeking financial relief through bankruptcy. Expert and one of our favorite customers at NextChapter, Tara Salinas, is going to be sharing her knowledge and experience in taking on Chapter 7 and 11 bankruptcy business cases. So attend this session and get a comprehensive introduction to business bankruptcy, and also how this coronavirus pandemic has changed business bankruptcies and what you can expect. After that, we're going to be having a conversation with Mandy Ballinger and a few of the virtual paralegals on our Paralegal as a Service panel. So paralegals play a huge role in bankruptcies in the process. And it's not just the data entry and client intake and legal research, but also the client communication. Paralegals are usually the ones who talk with the clients the most. And so we want to be able to help you guys understand you know, how a virtual paralegal might be able to work with your firm. Even if you have paralegals on staff, they can assist and help your paralegals. It's so great. So Mandy Ballinger, former paralegal and the director of operations at NextChapter, is going to be talking with three of our ladies here about how to work with a contract virtual bankruptcy paralegal so you can amplify new practice areas and, you know, maybe even just talk about if you're, you know, if you're going out of town or you have an assistant that is on maternity leave and how a virtual paralegal can pop in and help out your firm. Or if you have no assistant right now, but you're about to get swamped with these bankruptcy cases, you're going to need some help. So at the beginning of this session, you're going to hear from one of our premium sponsors, Ruby. Ruby Receptionist has been one of our, we've been working with them for several years. And so that'll be great to hear from them as well. Okay, and then we have, to round out Wednesday, is going to be Stephanie Everett from Lawyerist. She is the Lawyerist president, and she'll be talking about a 1-hour session where she's going to explain the ins and outs of running the business side of your law firm. So this is going to be from crafting your law firm strategy to setting goals, tracking KPIs, a lot of the stuff that, you know, they don't really teach you in law school that you need to know for building your practice. So Stephanie is going to present everything you need to know, how to successfully manage your firm. And this is going to be a great session for a lot of people who need, you know, the advice that's hard to find, that you need to figure out. And Stephanie's here to give it to you. So on Thursday, we'll be starting early with Jordan Turk, who is going to be talking with us about LawPay's legal she is LawPay's legal content and compliance manager, and she's going to be talking to us about how to streamline your law firm payments so that you don't leave money on the table. And at the beginning of this session, you'll see a product demonstration from our premium sponsor, LawPay. After that, we have Matt Hartley, who's going to be talking with us about zero down and bifurcated bankruptcies. And I think there's a lot to really hear about here because there's so many jurisdictions that have different requirements. And I think this is going to be a really interesting session to have Matt Hartley tell us more about. So be sure to attend this session, learn how to get started filing bifurcated bankruptcies, or how Fresh Start funding can help. And maybe just hop in so that you can, you know, learn more about it and talk with him. And the fun doesn't stop there. So Thursday afternoon, this session is dedicated to learning more about how to get more clients, something every lawyer needs to know. So the CEO of Postali, an award-winning legal marketing agency, is going to be talking about marketing from SEO to interactive web design to good old-fashioned direct mail. Jim Christie is presenting the most effective ways to advertise your firm and industry best practices. So you won't want to miss this if you want to figure out how to get in front of more clients and try to find more of these bankruptcy debtors who may need you. Then at the end here, we have a presentation by a bankruptcy trustee. Mark Little is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy trustee, and we're going to get a session all about like tips and advice from a trustee's perspective, which is so helpful, especially for new bankruptcy attorneys that don't know exactly, what to expect when they're looking at either how the trustee is going to be examining the case or what they can do to make that relationship a little better. So I think this is going to be a really interesting session too. Mark Little's been using NextChapter for several years, and we were thrilled to hear that he wanted to educate our team. So here on the final day, we're going to be starting off with two of the most essential resources for a new bankruptcy attorney: the bankruptcy publications and legal research. So in this crash course, law librarian Erin Page is going to take you through all of the books and case law that FastCase can provide through their platform. And then by the afternoon, Ron Drescher is going to be coming back to join us one final time and talk about all things workflow and systems. Bankruptcy law involves many moving parts, and that requires careful management. Ron will give us an inside look at all the workflows and share with us some tips on how to make your law firm practice more effective and efficient. And I can say from personal experience, Ron has showed us a few ways that he's used NextChapter and Fusionsoft and some other tools to streamline his practice, and it is a machine. So it's going to be very cool to see the way that he has set this up and some tips that you can take home, take back with you to the firm to make this more efficient. And closing out the whole Bankruptcy Week Summit is none other than Jack Newton, co-founder and CEO of Clio, the leading legal practice management software. Listen as he speaks on the current state of the legal industry and how you can use technology to create a better client experience and increase law firm revenue. I recently sat down with Jack last week, actually, on his podcast, Daily Matters, and it was great to see him talking with so many. He's been talking every single day in a podcast with law firm legal industry experts and attorneys and law firms all over the country. And it's so exciting to see someone who, even in this huge company now just sits right in front and talks to people about how to make their law firm better. So I know that this could be really big. They a legal trends report all about how COVID-19 is disrupting and how it's changing law firms, and I think that he'll be able to provide some insight on that too, and what they're seeing from the front lines of having so many hundreds of thousands of users all across the globe. So join Jack, and I'll be hosting this session with him just to bring him on, and we'll be turning the Q&A into Twitter. So if you have questions, we'll be able to answer everything through a conversation on Twitter. So guys, there you have it. That was a rundown of the entire week ahead. And don't forget to register for all of our sessions by following the links. I want to thank all of our premium sponsors, because without you guys, this event would not have been possible. So thank you so much, LawPay, Ruby, Bridge Legal, and Law Clerk. And of course, I could not leave without thanking our entire incredible team, the ones behind the scenes who designed the website, created graphics for the social media, who posted all about this to get all of your attention, and our hosts, MCs, our community moderators, and of course, the whole NextChapter development, sales, and supports teams for keeping everything moving during this crazy hectic time where we're so excited, but also a little overwhelmed. So I am just in awe of you guys every single day. So thank you so much. This conference would not be possible without each and every one of you. So Now you guys have a little break. Go check your emails. This actually ended a little quicker than the full hour. So you have some time to go get ready, because Ron Drescher's Bankruptcy Basics session is coming up. And he has over 1,000 people already in the session ready to learn. So if you want to be one of those, just make sure to go and into the Livestorm page. You can sign up, and he will be able to, he also has some takeaways for you. And for the rest of this week, we're going to be, I will be sending out some emails with, a roundup of the sessions of the day, and then also some materials that you guys can take home. And we'll be sending out recordings too. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email us. And thank you so much for coming. We cannot wait to share this whole week with you guys. So we hope to see you the rest of this week. Thank you.